So we've got all our code in one folder, unzipped. Don't forget to unzip it. And just open that up in PyCharm. So you can do it via this open. If you've already opened it, then it should appear in the list here. Let's just open it and find it. There it is. It's on the desktop. So it's that folder. And open it up. And you'll see it'll give me the workspace where I've got all the folders that I've got listed there. We can look at this week's code. There it is. There's all the code. So I can open it up, and all my code now is in this one place, which is great. If I want to find something, I can do Control-Shift-F, I think it is, to find a bit of code. It's all in one place. I don't have to worry too much about organizing it anymore. Okay, so configuring this, therefore, it's regarding our code, all that code stored in that folder, as a project. And what that means is, it doesn't mean very much, but it means it will create a little folder called idea. Yeah, so it creates a folder called idea in our main folder, which has some configuration files. So don't leave that alone. Don't delete it or anything. It doesn't really matter if you do delete it, because it'll just reconstruct it. But if it's useful for recording I think it records what you were working on, for example, that kind of thing, so that when you open up PyCharm next time, it should open up with a similar view to what you were just looking at. So, okay, you can, at this point, rename your project if you want, but we're not going to do that because I've called it Programming Foundations, so there it is. That's just the name of the folder, and I'm not going to bother renaming it any further. Okay, there's lots of configuration you can do. So let's get stuck in first of all. Let's run a program. Let's work with the if-elif-else calculator from this week's examples. So if we browse to it here, it's in this week's folder. Browse to it, double click it. It's going to appear in this window. There it is. So this should start to look familiar, this code. We've seen it before. And if I want to run it, there's lots of different ways you can do it. You can use the menu. You can right-click on the file and run it, or you can, if you've run it previously, you can use Control-Shift-F10 as a keyboard shortcut to run it, or if you've run it previously, just Shift F10 or the button. Let me just show you that. So if I run this, let's use the menu to start with. Run. Okay, it's checking which one I want to run, and I'll select that program. And you'll see at the bottom here, it opens up a little window where this is like the shell, the Python shell that we've used before. So I can type in the numbers I want and subtract them. Okay. So it's running my program down here. Or I can, now I've run it, so if you want to run it over again, I can just click this button here, and that will run it again. Oops. Make sure you're typing in the window at the bottom and not in your code. But that runs the program. And as I said, make sure you type the input in here. Don't start typing your numbers in here, because obviously that you're actually modifying the code and not interacting with it. Okay. One other thing you may see, when the first time you run it, you might see a dialog from Windows Firewall if you're running on Windows. Just allow access to, just allow it to run on your machine. Okay, so let's run our first program. Let's stop there, and then we'll get on to actually doing some debugging in a second.